Hey everybody, welcome back, and it is time for the first smoke detector unboxing of the year. It's taken me a little bit longer than usual to get my very first unit of this year, but I just really haven't, I don't know, I've been focused more on fans for the better part of the beginning of this year, and yeah, I just came across this one, and I figured I'd bite, so let's go ahead and see if I can find my pocket knife, which is up on the dresser for some reason. So, hopefully I won't need that again, but I might. Yeah, I'm gonna need it again. Alright. There we go. Now I don't think I'll need it again. That's just the paper with the receipt. So now, let's unwrap it. Oh, I lied. I do need it again. They've double packaged it. No, I'm just gonna leave it out. Because clearly they keep surprising me. Okay, I don't think I need it again. Alright, and it's in a bag. So, yep, that's right. Another NuTone. And this is a line cord powered model. And I am pretty much 100% sure this is the S-181. Because I've got the S-180L right here. That's the one that I already had, that I got brand new in the box, which has the chrome. And this is the LED version with the no transformer. It has a dropping resistor in it. But this one, as you can see, let's move all this bubble wrap over to the side. And let me take you guys down here. For this one, it has no chrome on the front cover, except for on the NuTone logo. Unlike that one, which has the chrome around the outline there, which is interesting. Oh, and the smoke detection alarm label is chromed, but this one, it isn't. I didn't even notice that. That's interesting. So, I'm going to take the cover off because I'm actually interested to see. Like I said, I'm fairly certain I'm correct that the model number is S-181, but I'll take the cover off here. Might have to do this with two hands. There we go. Alright. And yes, this is the S-181, and it was manufactured in February of 1976. That's ironic. So this is now 39 years old. Wow. So yeah, inside the cover, and then the base, of course. And the base may look familiar to you, and that's because this is actually a rebrand of the ESL 706. Similar to how this one, the later S180L, is a rebrand of the model that came after this, the S709-2. And yeah, so if I take this one off, you'll be able to see, well, if I get the ring off too, here we go. You can see they're pretty much exactly the same. The only difference, of course, other than the horn and this one being an Edwards and this one being a Delta-Larm, is that this one has the provisions for the heat sensor there, which was offered on some NuTone models. I know they had it for their system units, And I think they also did offer it for their residential units, but except those are extremely rare. And so, yeah, this one doesn't have the provision for the heat sensor, and that's because this is a very early version of the 706 with that old ESL logo I mentioned in the video I made of this one. But yeah, it's just the same exact design. And yeah, so this one runs off the incandescent lamp principle in the photoelectric sensor, and the bulb is right here. And I noticed they gave me 2 set spare bulbs, which is interesting. I thought they only ever gave you 1. So there is a bulb installed in here, and is it good? Well, I guess we'll find out. I can't tell if the filament is still good or not, but if it isn't, they gave us 2 spares, so I'm sure one of those will still work. Yeah, so it runs off an incandescent bulb principle, and I've explained how it works before, but the basic idea is that there's a lamp. The lamp, when it is powered, it's glowing, it casts a beam this direction, and smoke is supposed to enter the chamber through these 2 vents here, and through the top there, those little louvers. And when smoke enters, it'll scatter that beam a little bit, and it'll reflect it, and some of that will land on, there's a photocell sensor somewhere around this area, I think. And some of that scattered, reflected light from the beam that the smoke scatters will land on the photoelectric sensor, the photocell, which will trigger the circuitry and turn on the horn. So it's a pretty simple principle, but very, very effective. Well, people argue it's more effective than ionization technology. But yeah, so like I said, this one does have the Delta-Larm horn. And it seems as though the earliest ones, as you can see here, had Edwards horns. I think we have found some NuTones with Edwards horns. Among others, they also use Douglas Randall horns, like this one that I have. It does have a Douglas Randall horn. You can't really see it in there, but I did make a video of that one. And the vents here that the smoke is supposed to enter, there's supposed to be filters in there, but those have disintegrated over time. They're supposed to, as you can see, this one has both of them still there, but they're kind of falling apart. And they tend to just disintegrate over time, and until there's like nothing there like there is there. So hopefully the bits haven't fallen out into the sensor and are causing false alarms. But then this part also, on the top here, will come off. Hopefully I can get it off without breaking anything. Maybe not. This one, I can probably get it off easier on this one. There we go. This one comes off. There's another filter right in there, so I have to be really careful. And that just comes apart for cleaning. And you can take that screw out, and then the whole chamber will come out. So you can take it apart even further. But, yeah, I'm not going to risk getting this one off so I don't knock that filter in there if it's still even there. I don't hear anything in there, so hopefully that won't, the filters aren't broken and just in there. So, yeah, we'll take a look at the inside of the cover now, which does need to be cleaned. There's a piece of that filter I was mentioning. Let's dump that out real quick. NuTone models S-180, S-181, and S-180H. Actually, you know what? Let's take the cover off of this one and see if it's the same. Alright. Yep. Oh, this one says S-180, S-181, and S-180H, which is presumably the one with the heat sensor that I mentioned. This one says S-180L, S-181L, S-180LH, and S-181LH. So it's, I didn't even think of that. This is obviously going to be different because it's for a different version. But we can show you this one now. There's your mounting instructions, electrical specs. Of course, that's for hardwired units only. This one it wouldn't be applicable for. Trouble checklist, how to replace the bulb, testing, maintenance, and then the model number and manufacturer information. So, and you can see the difference now between these two. This one, of course, has the transformer here, and the lamp socket there, and of course the spare bulbs. This one, no transformer there, because it uses a dropping resistor for the power. No lamp holder there because there's an LED in that little black housing there that actually functions as the power, the light source, and the indicator. This one, the lamp also does function as the indicator. It shines through that light pipe there, which I think is like a green tint. At least it is on the 706. It probably is on this one too, but we'll see that when we power it up. And then this, of course, is the test lever right here, which protrudes out of that notch on the cover. And then the UL listing sticker, issue number 780. This one is number 335, so yeah, that makes sense that this one would be earlier. And then this one, 1944. So again, that one will be later, which again, checks out. So, I guess let's put the cover back on. Oh, and these also do have a cover interlock system. This one's a much more primitive version because this is an older variant. It has that little metal tab that just jumps those two prongs there. But this one actually has a, what is it? I think it's right here. It has that little plastic piece with those two tabs in there that jumps these two tabs here on the circuit board. So it's a little bit, it's kind of the same design, but there's no metal pieces to get bent or anything. So let's put the cover on. And if I can get it on the right way, see the test button's that way, so it, there we go. Okay. The light pipe, or I think they actually call this the jewel in the manual and on the back here, is protruding through the cover, and the test button is in the, or test lever is in the normal position. So let's take the rubber band off the cord. Alright, cord is all unraveled. Let's put the cover for the 706 over here. And now, let's plug it in, see what happens. Nothing. Alright, so that bulb is dead. So I'm going to go ahead and replace it with one of the other two spares in there and see if that works. Alright, yeah, looking at that old bulb up close, that filament is gone. So I've put one of the spares in there, so that should work now. That one does have a good filament, I've checked. So I'll do that, put the cover back on, and see what happens. Alright, cover back on. Let's plug it in. And we have light. Wow, it's a pretty bright light. And it's not really a greenish tint like this one is. It's more clear. But it does have that same pattern in there. I don't know. Yeah, you can see it. That sort of radial pattern. Same one as that one. Kind of wish it. Maybe it does. I do see a slight tint of green, so maybe it was there. Maybe it's faded. I don't know. But now it's time for a test. So let's flip the test lever and see what happens. Alright. It's pretty loud. It sounds very similar to this one with the Douglas Randall horn. Do one more. Yeah, it's like instantaneous when you flip the lever over. This one, both the 706 and this NuTone S-180L take some time to go off. Yeah, it's pretty loud. I think it is a little bit louder than that one, actually. Yeah. So this is definitely a cool one. And of course, it doesn't have a, I don't think, maybe it has it underneath of the mounting bracket. I'll take it off in a minute, but the other ones all have this date stamp on the back. I think this one has it under there somewhere. But yeah, of course it also has the date stamp in the cover, so if it doesn't, it's not a huge deal. And then of course the regular hardwired model, like the one that's a direct rebrand of the 706, the hardwired version, was the S-180. And there are a few collectors out there that have those. They seem to pop up on eBay from time to time, but they're always overpriced. I got this one off of a certain auction site, and it popped up. I don't even know when it popped up. I just noticed it a couple days ago. I just was like, oh, that's cool. I don't think I have that version yet, so I bid on it, and sure enough, I won, uncontested. So here it is about 3 days later. Oh, and I just activated the cover interlock when the light went off here. Yep, you can see. So the interlock works. So when you take the cover off, the power will go out. Similar to the Honeywell TC49A and the hardwired GEs. Now I think there is a slightly different text on the cover here from this one. So this one says, to silence, pull, and remove cover, operating instructions inside, system on when lit. This one does not say system on when lit, it just, the light is there, and it says, to silence, pull, and remove cover, operating instructions inside. So it says the same thing, it's just a little bit different layout. It's all in one line instead of split up between two. And I do like the chrome on the smoke detection alarm label there. Like how it stands out, unlike on this one. And I think the cover would be interchangeable on this one, except this one doesn't have a... Well, it does have an interlock switch, but instead of it being like the kind that the tabs, where it's like, it actually makes or breaks a circuit on the circuit board, there's this tab inside of that piece there that the center post there pushes down onto, kind of like on the earlier TC49As, where they had a closed-bodied switch that was being pushed down by a tab. But yeah, put this one back on too. So, obviously I don't have a manual for this one. It probably would be similar to this one's manual. So you can check this one's video. I think I showed the manual in that video. But yeah, very, very cool for this one, to find this one. And I have seen these in person before. I think I mentioned it back in this one's video. But there was when I worked at that camp in Pennsylvania back in 2019, over the summer, one day my friend and I, that we worked together up there, went to this little town. I can't remember what the town was called, but it was nearby, and there was this like ice cream / gift store souvenir place. And like right above the cashier, there's one of these. It was the S-180, the hardwired model of this, because I remember it didn't have any chrome on the front. And it was right above the cashier on the ceiling. It was not operating. I assumed the bulb had long died. But yeah, that was the first one of these I'd ever seen in person. And to this day, I still think that I thought it was such a huge unit from that perspective. I don't know. It just looked a lot bigger. But now, like, when I have it in person, it just doesn't seem as big to me. It's, like, about as big as, like, a GE Home Sentry. Maybe a little bigger, but, I don't know. I just thought that one was so, like, large when I saw it for some reason. The perspective was just... It was not there. But anyway, go ahead and give this one more test for you. Alright. So that is the NuTone-Scovill S-181 line cord powered smoke detector. So thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.